Hi there, my name is Alex and I'm going to be doing a video series on some of the best tipping and betting services that are available with the Smart Betting Club. The video series is going to be based on 4 specific services that I use in my betting portfolio. The first video specifically is going to take you through each service and the tools that are associated with them and how they all work. The subsequent videos will show the results and track the progress of my betting portfolio that will be made up of these 4 specific services. So just a real quick bit about me and why I'm doing this video. I actually work for the Smart Betting Club, and in my spare time I bet and have been doing so profitably for well over 2 years now. I used to be an occasional punter, like most did, betting on ACCAs and some horse racing, but I then stumbled across match betting, which started my journey into profitable betting. So I started with match betting, moved on to value betting, and since joining SBC, I have added tipsters into my portfolio as well. So I'll be talking about 4 services in these videos. I'm going to show you what they offer and how they work and how I use them in my own portfolio. And we'll track the results over the weeks and see how we get on. So let's get into the first service. Just before I dive into this, I wanted to mention some of the discounts that SPC members can get to all of the services that I'm going to be tracking in this video diary. First off, you can get 50% on your first month for Bookie bashing membership. You can also get 1 month free with CD systems. And you can also get £30 off yearly membership at the Poacher. All of these discounts are available for SPC members. The details will be in the video below, so anybody wanting to take advantage of these can get all the details under the video. So the first tool that I'm looking at in this video that is part of my betting portfolio is the Bookie bashing horse racing tracker. This is a fantastic tool and it's based around finding value bets in horse racing. For those of you not familiar with value bets, I highly recommend reading up online. There's loads of great articles about it. It's a very well-known betting strategy within the betting world, and you certainly need to understand the concepts before using a tool like this. But just briefly, a value bet is a bet that is at odds that are better than they should be. The odds are better than the true probability of something happening. So this tool basically spits out loads of value bets, and they're actually each way horse racing value bets. They're not win only, they are each way value bets. So they are value on the place part and the win part combined. If you were to take win only arbs, you're likely to get your bookmakers accounts restricted far more quickly. So each way we can stay under the radar a little bit, and it also helps with variance and other things like that. So how does this tool find value bets? Well, simply it compares odds at the bookmaker against odds at the Betfair exchange. So for horse racing, Betfair exchange is considered true value. So this tool is finding odds at bookmakers that are higher than they should be compared to Betfair. That's it in a nutshell. There's no real need to go into massive detail about how that's done on this video. There's plenty of articles out there about how you can value bet in horse racing and how you should compare the odds against Betfair. So in terms of the tool and how it works and how it finds you value bets, you'll see the interface here. I won't go too much into depth into the actual tool mechanics, because there's already great videos out there that show how to do this. SPC have got a great video going into detail about how to use it, which is fantastic. So just briefly, you've got some settings along the top here. They are filters, so they will filter out based on certain conditions. You might want to show certain bookmakers or certain expected value, certain odds below or above a certain range, etc. That's all customizable with these filters here. You also have a My Settings section. There's loads of great stuff in there. There's been some new additions to these settings recently which have completely changed the game for this particular tool. I won't go into these in too detail. It's probably a separate video, to be honest, but there's lots of options here that you can customize it with. And then in the main interface, you've got the selections and the bookmakers and the EV and the odds, etc. So runner, confidence bar, EV, expected value, odds, win EV, place EV, places, the terms, the race, and the bookmakers along here. So nice shiny icons for the bookmakers. These selections are available at all major bookmakers, so you'll have plenty of places for where to place your bets. So this tool goes fantastically with the Lucky 15 strategy, and that is how I use this tool. It's how I place my bets. So what is the Lucky 15 strategy? Well, a Lucky 15 is obviously a multiple bet when placing bets on horse racing. But why do we use a Lucky 15 strategy? Well, we've already mentioned it before that bookmakers are aware of you taking value bets. They're aware if you're taking win arbs. Eventually, if you're taking place arbs as well, you'll get found out and you will get restricted. Lucky 15s may help with the longevity of your account life. Still up for debate whether it does or not. Eventually, if you are winning, your account will get restricted anyway. What it also does is it compounds EV. So if you're taking 4 plus EV selections, that EV will be compounded into a much larger EV figure. What it also means is you can take one selection multiple times. So again, you're compounding that EV. If you take one selection but with a few different other selections that are also plus EV, you might have taken that plus EV horse twice. Therefore, you've taken advantage of that EV more than you would do if you were just betting on it once. So the Lucky 15 strategy can potentially increase account longevity and it compounds EV. But what you have to be aware of, that variance will probably increase as well. You'll probably go through longer losing runs and your wins may be larger, though in a positive sense. You can also have the chance to win a big jackpot with these. You know, if you're putting higher odds in a 4-leg Lucky 15 multiple, if all of them win or 3 of them win, you're in for a big payday. Okay, so the second tool that's going to make up part of my Smart Betting Club portfolio is another bookie bashing tool, and this time it's the bookie bashing golf tracker. This tool works in similar ways to the horse racing tracker, in such that it tries to find value bets. It does this using an algorithm which compares the prices at a bookmaker to the prices at the Betfair exchange. So very similar to the horse racing tracker. When you're using the tool, you'll normally see that there's 2 tournaments, a European Tour tournament and a PGA tournament. This week it's a little bit confusing as there's a match play tournament, a European tournament starting in a weird time, and then a normal PGA event. But just for the purpose of this video, we're looking at the match play event, which actually tees off in 15 minutes. The idea of this tool is to be placing pre-match bets. So you want to be taking advantage of all the extra places in golf. And to take advantage of those extra places, you need to place your bets before tee off. So mainly use this, so I will only be using this tool for pre-match golf bets. Okay, so in terms of the tracker, how it works and how to pick selections, you'll see that you have the name of the golfer on the left, you have a confidence bar, you have the EV, the odds, the neutral odds, the win fair odds, the place fair odds. And then this is sort of the real information you want to be paying attention to: places, terms, and then the bookmakers. You'll obviously see that multiple bookmakers are available for one selection due to the fact that different bookmakers may be paying different place terms, or they'll have that golfer at different odds. For example, if we take Adam Long, he is bookmaker odds of 201, so 200 to 1. And if you check him against all the different bookmakers, you'll see that he's at different odds and different place odds, and therefore different EV, different expected value. So at Sky, they're paying 8 places, and they are the ones with the best odds, 201. That means the EV is a whopping 165.35%. So loads of value there in that selection. You'll find that the golfers with the bigger odds have the highest EV, much like it is in horse racing. Okay, so you can use this tool on its own like that and just take plus EV bets, but it does also work really well with Bookie Bashing's own tournament by tournament analysis. Now that analysis is usually in the blog section here, but it's not actually there this week, so I've gone and dug it out from Discord. And this is the tournament by tournament analysis which Bookie Bashing do, which accompanies the tracker as well. So this analysis is done by the Bookie Bashing team, and it compares the odds to win a tournament against certain statistics, golfing statistics that are deemed attractive for this tournament, for want of a better word. So for this specific example, the ranking is based on driving distance, greens and regulation, strokes gained in approach to the green. So those 3 statistics, if a player is faring well in those statistics over the previous tournaments, then they will be looked favourably on by this analysis. So for this week, anybody over to the right of the graph is doing really well in these stats, and should in theory have a greater chance of winning than the players that are over to the far left who are not doing so well in these stats. So how do we use this? Well, we use this with the tool, and we basically see if any of these players are plus EV selections, and if they are, then we're on to a winner, because we've got a player who has great stats and is also great value. Okay, so I've found Joaquin Newman in the list. You can see here he's over, his stats are very favourable, and also his odds are favourable as well. He's good value odds. He's actually 50-1 with Sky, and his EV is nearly 120%. So that's a really great selection. So I would be betting on him this week. Bookie Bashing also have a golf staking calculator, which is a fantastic way of knowing how much you want to bet on this particular selection. Okay, so to use the calculator, you need to put in the odds. So Joaquin was 51. It was roughly a 119 EV. Let's just do this off £1,000 bankroll. And then it spits out the recommended stake. So I would probably do £10 each way. That's an each way recommendation. So you'd probably just round that up to £10. You go over to Sky Bet and stick £10 each way on Joaquin Niemann, and then you have yourself a value bet on the golf. You can repeat this process for as many golfers as you like. I try and get all of the ones that are highlighted in yellow on bets on. If they're not EV, then I won't back them. I will then try and get maybe some of the other players that are further over to the right on this graph, indicating that they have favourable stats. If they are EV, then I will back them as well. If I'm lacking any players as they're on that graph as they are not EV, then I can maybe come over to some of the other EV players. Technically there's nothing wrong with taking some of these high EV players, as well as they are good value bets, and you should profit over the long term if taking plus EV bets. So the next 2 services that are in my portfolio are purely tipsters. So they provide the tips on a daily basis. They're sent to my inbox, and it's as easy as following the tips and putting them on at the bookmaker or the exchange. The first one is called the Poacher, and he is a football tipster. And one great thing about this service is that he provides all his tips on the Betfair exchange. That is absolutely fantastic for punters because if it's a profitable service, then you don't run the risks of bookmaker restrictions and it can add real longevity to your strategy. So we're just on the page on the Smart Betting Club, the Poacher's own page, and that page just has a little bit about him, so you can go to that page to find out more. He essentially specialises in the Spanish league, so the Primera, La Liga, and the second division, Segunda. Most of his bets will come from these two leagues, but he does also dabble in some French stuff as well. And my initial experiences of him so far are really fantastic. He has made some fantastic shouts on specific tips. We've been tracking him at SBC since 2019, and he's been profitable since then. So he's profitable over the long term, which is a fantastic sign. So always important for betting on tipsters is bankroll management. There's a piece about bankroll management specifically to the Poacher on the Smart Betting Club website. But essentially, you need to break your bets down into a certain number of points of your bankroll. In this specific example for the Poacher on site, we use a £2,000 betting bank starting point. There is bank size recommendations for the service as well, depending on your risk tolerance. There's high risk, moderate, and safe. Bets will be sent directly to your email inbox. They come in with the selection name, the price, and the advised number of points. It also comes with a little write-up about the game and the tip and why the Poacher has picked out this specific selection. And then the second tipster and the last service that I'll be using and reviewing as part of this video series is CD Systems, which is a horse racing tipster. This tipster is an SBC Hall of Fame service, so it has been around for a long time. It's been profitable for a long time, and it's been rated so highly by SBC that it is a Hall of Fame service. Another great thing about this tipster is that his tips have been proven profitable both at the bookmakers and at the exchanges. So these tips will come via email straight to your inbox, and the selections will be tipped the night before. So the selection will be for a race the next day. CD Systems will actually tip two tips. There'll be a main selection and a next best selection. So ideally you want to be getting on the main selection at the price advertised. Just for the purposes of this video series, I'll only be getting on the main selection that Steve at CD Systems is most confident about. Tips will be advised at bookmaker prices, but as mentioned, this strategy is profitable at the exchanges as well, specifically at Betfair, the Betfair exchange. So we'll be playing around with this strategy over the course of the video series. I'll actually be only placing my bets on the exchange, but there'll be a number of different ways that I can go about that, taking BSP, so Betfair starting price, doing some in-play stuff. We'll be having to play around with that to see how we can get the best results at the exchange. So that's it for this video. Make sure you stay tuned for more videos in this series as we track the results and hopefully reveal some tasty profits.